Good morning, everybody. My name is Jan Richard, working for Haselrail in Switzerland, Bern. First of all, maybe a short explanation about Haselrail Cyber Electronics. You may be confused, but we are now a company now since May 2016. We have merged together, so Roberto, you left a bit too early. I'm there in Haselrail in Bern, responsible for the software application unit. You may already think that this is more belonging to off-board applications based on cloud infrastructures. I have more than 10 years background in railways. I've been working for the Swiss Railways, mainly in the field of signaling and ERTMS. And I have been very often in Brussels. A few years ago, I have been the support group speaker at ERA for the TSI CCS support group. Okay, what I would like to talk about are aspects about cybersecurity. Guillaume did a very good job. And I'm glad that we think the same way, and I'm glad that I will present slightly different things that you did, so that is very complementary in the end, very fruitful for you. Business environments, then the threats. What threats do we see at the moment when we talk about security for rail communication, and then some measures and the conclusion. So the typical business environment, as we have been discussing it yesterday and this morning already, may be an onboard subsystem situation like this one for energy metering. You have a dedicated network for this energy metering system. You combine this in a mobile gateway and you may send the energy metering data off-board. Another typical environment on board may be when it comes to data recording, signaling data recording, ETCS, JRU data recording, whatever, speed acquisition, speed monitoring, all that again connected to a mobile gateway, data sent off-board, very convenient, no one has to go to the vehicle to draw the data and make an analysis of it, etc., etc. So, and I think that's where we start to complement Guillaume's presentation now. Today, it's very common that the data is sent off-board from the train, so it makes it altogether an on-board, off-board network, with having somewhere a data center where all the data is going to be handled, analyzed, analytics is done, energy data is metered, built, whatever. But this is actually where we think the cybersecurity comes in. We have a connection from the train to an off-board infrastructure which offers several possibilities for any kind of an attack. So the threats, again here, end-to-end security posture is always, when it comes to a connection from the train to an off-board infrastructure, it's actually going down to the module. And therefore we see that train networks are not that much or not longer anymore so private or so close as they have been in the past. There is somewhere, somehow, a connection to the outer world. And as Guillaume said as well, the right-hand part, the IT, cloud, they're very good, the guys, they know how to protect them. That's since 20 years we have the internet, and a lot of things happen, and usually they know what to do. But on the left-hand side part, we are not that good yet, or we see that, especially when it comes to refurbishment of old rolling stock, that it is not taken enough into account that you immediately offer some weak points then in your system. So security threats are manifold. The list could be continued, of course. I just mentioned a few. And I would like to go a bit more into detail for the connectivity, as I said, the onboard, off-board connectivity, about network services, some problems, some challenges like unnecessary ports are open, should not be forgotten, can happen, so minimize open network ports, ports exposed to the internet via UPnP. Of course, simple answer, don't use UPnP, even it is very practical in our commercial environment with connecting easily to mobile phones, transferring pictures, etc. It's probably not that good idea to use it on a train transporting hundreds of passengers at speeds of up to 300 kilometers per hour. Anyway, network services vulnerable to denial of service. So this is also a serious issue. Review these configurations and take action where needed. Then, transport, connectivity transport encryption. Sometimes we see that data is still sent in real text information between devices or subsystems. Yeah, probably we should change this very quick and encrypt communication between devices with appropriate measures. And we have heard Shift2Rail is taking action. Guillaume also asked for a similar methodology as we know it from safety part. Then, of course, SSL, TLS encryption or security implementation should be also done always, not just if someone asks for it. And use of proprietary encryption. You may say now, yeah, but this is good because it's not according to the open standards, so no one knows how I encrypted my stuff. But it, on the other hand, puts a risk at you or at your company as well, because if this guy leaves the company who invented the encryption method, you have a serious problem. So we think it's better to use open standards in an appropriate way. Last but not least, security measures on the physical layer. Unnecessary ports, the famous USB port, especially now from our business domain, when it comes to data recording, it was a very convenient way the last 10, 15 years to download recorded data via USB port. Today, when we think about the new environments, IoT, or the Internet of Things as we call it, a USB port is a security threat. Access to operating systems through remote media. This is obvious when it comes to the connection between the train and the ground, and the inability to limit administrative capabilities. Also this, very often, my colleagues from the development department, they work with the admin or with the root account and do not use a proper user structure, so I have to remind them to implement something like this. Yeah, I said aspects, not too much technical details. We can discuss this anytime later on in the break. There's much more than covered in this brief presentation, just a few inputs, just how Hasler Zaira looks at the things. Make sure to prepare for building secure solution, and this was mentioned gladly to me yesterday and today again. It involves processes and peoples. We may need other people with other skills. We may treat the things differently, or what was said yesterday as well. It's not the digitalization who changes the railway. Actually, it should be the processes of the railway to be changed to need digitalization to do an efficient business. Yeah, IoT is here. There's no way out at the moment, and it's not just hardware and or software, it's a system. It's a combination of things. especially when it comes again to the case of refurbishment. You have a 20, 30-year-old locomotive and you stuff it with lots of electronics and nice gadgets. Pay attention. Agile methods needs also agile security measures, and there is never 100% security, so take the risks but treat them appropriately and gain knowledge about security when we go towards IO trains. Guillaume mentioned it as well, very good. That's what we think to do at Hasler Rail and Saira Electronics. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. We have one last presentation of Björn Lüssner of Bane Nord, and he will introduce ERIS, but also the UIC 930 revision.